Welcome to Whzan. Whzan is an internet cloud-based service enabling you to control and monitor equipment remotely via an internet browser. Whzan enables you to create applications for and participate in the Internet of Things. There are 8 videos within our tutorial pack. We recommend you watch all our tutorials in full screen and increase the DPI resolution. In this tutorial, we will introduce you to the Mimic editor. We recommend you watch our brief overview tutorial and register for a Whzan account before continuing to watch this video. Start by signing into your Whzan account and open the Mimic editor. You will arrive at the main menu. Wherever you are in Whzan, you have access to its comprehensive text-based help by clicking on the Help link button. Alternatively, by selecting Context Help, you can click on any control to see detailed help for that particular item. We will begin by creating a new Mimic. From the main menu, click on Create a new Mimic. You will notice that every dialog box within Whzan also contains a link to detailed help and guidance. Enter a name. The default is New Mimic followed by a date and time and a description. By selecting the first checkbox, Publicly Viewable, you allow other users to view but not edit your Mimic. The second checkbox gives you the option to create a quick link from the My Whzan homepage. Click OK to create your new Mimic. It will now be listed on the main menu. By selecting the Mimic and clicking Edit, we can start designing our Mimic. The large area in the middle is the editing area or Mimic screen. To the left of the area is the toolbox, which contains items we can add. For example, we can add an ellipse, rectangle or line simply by clicking on the required shape, then clicking and dragging on the editing area. We can add text in the same way, then typing in the text box. We can also add images to our Mimic by clicking the Image Browser button. We can create a category, then import a new image for the category, enter a name for that image. You can either link to an image on the internet by inserting its URL, or you can specify an image on the local computer. We then select the image and either add it to Palette, which will add the image to the toolbox for future, Use Now, which will temporarily add the image to the Items area of the toolbox. The images can then be added to the Mimic in the same way as other items. Widgets are useful ready-made images which can be added to Mimics. Some of them can be animated to reflect the changing status of devices. We can add an image by selecting Widget Browser button and selecting a category. In the Gauges category, for example, we have a range of animated images to choose from. If we select one, we can either add it to the palette for future use or use it now, which will place the widget on the editing area. We can see any widget which has been added to the palette listed below their category in the toolbox. They can be added to our Mimic in the same way as any other items. We can use the Select tool at the top of the toolbox to select any item on the editing area. We can select a single item by clicking on it. We can also select multiple items either by clicking and dragging the Selection tool or by holding down the Shift key whilst clicking on desired items. In the cases where items overlap, it is possible to dig for the required item by holding down the Control key while clicking. When we select an item, we can alter its appearance by dragging its handles. Note also the Property panel to the right of the editing area. Any item properties can be changed here. Common properties are common to all Mimic items. For example, we can specify the item's position on the editing area by changing the values for left and top. We can also change its transparency or opacity and the sharpness or blur of its edges. Other properties depend on the type of item selected. Ellipse and rectangles have shape properties such as the line thickness and fill colour. Rectangles also have corner properties so that corners can be rounded. You can change a variety of properties for text items such as font type, size and colour. There are 2 properties that can only be set for images: Uniform, which maintains the scale of the image regardless of how it is resized, and Fill, which fills the entire selected area with the image. Widget properties vary according to the individual widget. In the light example, we can set the value to on or off. And this gauge can have values set for current, minimum and maximum values, and the colour can be changed. Above and to the left of our editing area is the toolbar. This consists of 2 tabs. The Home tab contains the Save button and the Undo and Redo button. Next we have the Snap to Grid button, which affects the size and position of the items added to the mimic. The size and colour of the grid can be defined by selecting the Grid Options button. The next group of buttons on the Home toolbar are Cut, Copy and Paste. Cut will remove any selected items and place it on the clipboard. Copy will put a copy of selected items on the clipboard, and Paste will copy the last selection added on the clipboard onto the mimic. The Delete will remove selected items without placing them on the clipboard. The second toolbar tab is the Arrange toolbar. The first group of buttons allows you to vertically align selected items on the mimic. Align left edges, centre points or right edges. The second group of buttons aligns items horizontally. Align top edges, middles or bottom edges. The third group controls the size of the items by making them the same width, height or width and height. If you have selected your items holding down the Shift key, items will take their height from the first selected items. The next two buttons are for controlling the appearance of overlapping items. You can either bring an item to the front or send it to the back. The last two items on the toolbar are Group or Ungroup. Group means that all selected items can be edited as one. A mimic can consist of more than one screen. Add a new one by clicking on the Add a New Screen tab. You can also create a copy of the screen by clicking on the screen name and selecting Duplicate Screen. The name, width, height and background colour of a screen can be changed by clicking on the screen name and selecting Properties. Delete a screen by clicking on its name and selecting Delete Screen. Below and to the right of the editing area you will find the Zoom tools, which allow you to zoom in or out of your mimic using the slider tool, the Zoom to 100% button or Zoom out to show entire mimic button. You can also zoom in or out by rolling your mouse wheel while the cursor is positioned over the editing area. Finally, above and to the right of the editing area we have Test and View Live buttons. The Test button allows you to display a mimic on the live server while manually updating any data points or alarms. The View Live button will display the mimic on the live server while sending and receiving values from your devices every 30 seconds. For further assistance in how to pull together the mimic with the measured values from your system, watch the videos within our tutorial pack, or use our comprehensive help facility, or join our technical forum. And if you want some very specific help, do send us an email via our website. You can use Whzan for many monitoring and control tasks. You can find examples on what Whzan can be used for on our website, whzan.com. Join us there.